I don't even know how to intro this because the podcast doesn't have a name. All it has is a subject matter, which is entrepreneurs, business owners, and people in the creative field. I personally love speaking to people in these industries because, you know, I class myself as in this field as well. So, and I love learning from people who are like-minded, so and so. But I just wanted this podcast to kind of be a way for us to share, connect, and just talk about things that we're passionate about. Oversaturated, but I don't care. We're here now. Do you know what I mean? So, I want to introduce my very first guest, and this man has inspired me to be better, do better, and just work hard. Do you know what I mean? He's a very, very down-to-earth human being, and he's an inspiration to people who want to run a business and want to work in the creative industry. I want to introduce Hassan Mushaid.
Mushaid, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
We check on Facebook. I think there's only like me.
Okay.
And maybe another kind of catfish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone stole your...
Yeah, I think it might be myself, maybe. I can't remember. But there is a couple of Hassan Mushaids.
Fake account.
Yeah.
Fairs. Bro, Hassan, you've been in business for a while now.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of ups and downs. And I know a lot of people who might watch this don't know who you are. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So I'm Hassan Mushaid. I own a dental marketing agency, which is really specific and niche. There's a lot of other people out there who are also doing this, but we have been doing this for 9 years. And we also do consulting as part of that. So it's a bit more a hands-on approach to business development rather than just lead generation. And that's my universe, the dental industry.
Amazing. Why dentistry?
So years ago, we're talking like 2009, 2008, I applied as a call center guy for RBS just to be a customer service advisor. And at that time, the whole crash happened. So RBS took my application all the way to the point like, hey, you got the job. And then, hey, we're not taking anyone on anymore because we just had a financial crisis.
No way.
And like, shit, I got no qualifications. And I looked at this newspaper out. I thought, looking for dental nurses or will qualify as dental nurse, start your career. And at that time, I thought it'd be a good backup because I had no qualifications, no kind of formal education. So I thought, hey, let me get this under my belt. If some other crisis happens, I know I can always go to some professional, formal job. So I did the whole thing. It was an apprenticeship type thing. So a year's apprenticeship. So from working like a normal job, going to like £3 something an hour for the first year, I did that purely for the sake of getting this qualification. And I'll jump back out, do some other stuff. And I think whilst I was there, I realized like these guys are, although they're really formally educated and really smart, when it comes to business, some of them don't know what they're talking about. When it comes to keeping up with tech and changes, they have no idea. And at that time, we're talking Facebook, Alibaba, eBay was launching and starting off. And I was on those kind of little mini side hustles. And I think at that time, my boss saw the little potential. Hey, this guy's like selling things through Facebook groups and stuff. Hey, can you do this for us? I'm like, yeah, I can try. And that's how it kind of started off, really. So it's supposed to be a quick formal education, jump out. Instead, I've stayed here in this industry, in this space for a time.
Mad. So you kind of seen a gap and you're like, right, I'm going to attack this as soon as I possibly can, yeah?
There were no job roles for people like me. And so the dental industry at that time, there was no like in-house marketing guy.
Yeah.
So I was making job roles for me at that time. So that was kind of forcing my way into like, hey, this is what I do. I can be a manager, but I'm also a business guy. So I can be like a business development manager. And these guys like, we never had one of them. But yeah, don't worry. Just give me that first title and I'll make the rest.
Yeah.
So I was kind of carving a little pathway for people like me years ago.
Where'd you get that kind of confidence of like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll just handle it. I'll just go ahead and do it.
Yeah. And I think it's to do with money. At that time, I didn't have enough money. So I think just to give a bit more context, like maybe 2-3 years before, I was on like job seekers allowance for like 2 years straight, to the point where they started doing a little day trips out for you because they don't want you to get depressed and stuff. So I was on those vibes, like going on the coach with all these other guys to little farms and stuff. Literally trying to get like motivated. And so I know like, hey, I need this money. I don't mind like doing this job for now because I get some money. And if I can get more money, I don't mind doing extra work for you.
Fairs.
So even if it's like £1 extra an hour, I was like, yeah, I'll do that graft. Just because for me, it's still progression. So it was worth it at that time.
Tell us about like, let's take a step back then, about growing up and like, because I know you mentioned you got no qualifications at that time and like job seekers allowance, but what was that period of time like? And what was like your, so like, give us your origin story, basically.
Oh, it's a difficult one. So although I live in Bury, I've been in Bury for years. I'm not from Bury. Born in Blackburn, travelled around Manchester, lived in almost, I've been to like maybe 7, 8, 9 different primary schools. Not because of bad stuff, but mostly because we used to live with my uncle, property developer. Every time we'll buy a house, he'll do it up. We'll move into the house. So I lived in Bolton, Little Lever, Longside, Charlton, name it, Prestwich. I've been everywhere. So every year I had a new group of friends, which is also quite sad because I've not got any real friends from primary school.
Oh, okay.
So every year is a new bunch of friends. So I'm used to being the new star, the new guy. I'm like, hey, another year, let's start with new friends again.
Back, yeah.
So when we got to Bury, which is around about 11, 10, that's when we kind of first had some stabilization. So I got some friends in year 6, went through high school with them, and they kind of now my lifelong friends. But yeah, things changed when we were like 10, 11. Nice life up until 11. And then kind of with the mum, I guess a little more independent. So I think when it comes to financial things went a bit down. And then the environment that I was in, so I've been in some nice areas in Bury, some of the areas I was in. You could say low deprived areas, but at the same time, it is kind of like first, second generation Pakistani community. So some of us don't know about education. Like, hey, how do you go to university? What's the kind of the road plan for this? Like, how are you going to be a doctor? Do you need to like have an interest in science? Well, I didn't know none of this. No one even told us this. To the point where my little brother, really smart guy, got into Bury Grammar.
Yeah.
Didn't go to Bury Grammar, although they gave him a scholarship, which means it's free.
Yeah.
My mum didn't have the knowledge to say like, oh, that makes sense. She thought, oh, it still costs some money.
Okay.
So we rejected it. So we rejected a whole grammar school education with my brother because we didn't understand.
Fairs,
yeah. So
fairs.
So that's where we're from. I guess that's kind of the bit of the background. And so kind of on that pathway, pissed about in high school, and I think that kind of messed things up. But I was optimistic though.
Yeah.
I was optimistic. I just thought, yeah, I'm going to be rich. That's the plan. No idea how. There was a turning point, I think. There was 2 turning points that made a specific difference. One was an employer. An employer in my second job, as in the dental industry, he introduced me to the idea of audiobooks, right? And that changed everything. So there's a guy called Brian Tracy. He's like a big international sales speaker, trainer, been around for decades. All the legends know him. Like, so I remember seeing a video of him on the shopping channel. Like, hey, Brian Tracy's selling this 6 CD collection.
Yeah.
It's £99. These days, like, I mean, you spend 50 quid on a takeaway.
Yeah.
In them days, that's a lot of money. And they had a policy where if you don't like it, refund again 30 days back.
Sweet.
And laptops came in and I was quite young. I think, oh yeah, I can just burn that CD and send it back and get the money back.
Criminal behavior.
Yeah. So I told my mum, can I borrow £100? I'll give you it back.
Yeah.
It'll take 30 days.
Yeah.
But let me just borrow this money. So I borrowed 100 quid off my mum, bought the CDs, learned a lot. And I was like, do you know, my mindset like shifting. I feel a little bit different. I'm looking at things a little bit differently. And then everything's looking like an opportunity. But then you kind of go back to the kind of the hustle and grind. You kind of forget about all that. And then like a few years later, a mentor, Daniel Chung, he's a dentist in Bury. He introduced me to audiobooks. So he had a collection of like hundreds of books on these books. And he's like, he just showed me a little clip of these books. I'm like, yeah, I've heard about this guy, but I've told him about these other ones. He's like, okay, so you like these? I go, well, I've listened to one and I found it like inspirational. He goes, right, here's a USB stick with like 150 on. Take it and go learn.
Wow, okay.
So I used to walk to work and every day, headphones on, listen to audiobook after audiobook, going through like Jim Rohn, going through like so many people, like even Tony Robbins, went through like so many people. And I was like, damn, I think I'm a bit special here. I think I know too much more than the average person. I see the potential, I see the opportunities. I want to do something different now. I want to do something bigger. Like, why? I got all this potential.
Yeah.
And it gives you the self-belief, like, I got potential. Because it tries to validate some of your own beliefs. And I thought, yeah, I already have some of these traits. That means I should be able to do some of these things then. And that changed. That's one big tick. Second thing was, so in 2007, I had to leave the country because of some issues. So I thought I'll start a new life.
Wait. What's going on?
So things went bad criminally or in the crime stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
And I had to leave the country, not because of, I wasn't running away from anything. It's more to like, hey, this path is going to go down a bad pathway.
Right, okay.
So my uncle at that time gave me the opportunity, like, hey, move over to Pakistan with me, where the family is like settled and wealthy. And I was like, hey, do you know what? maybe I can start a new fresh life, because in the UK I'm going down a bad pathway. Went there, 7 months is all I could handle, like maxed out 7. It was just so boring, isolated.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was fine. Bro, it's just boring. So I used to watch TV a lot. Just wake up in the morning. I was quite hench because I had like all the time to go gym, protein.
I can see it on you a bit.
It's came back. It's came back. Yeah. But then, so on one day, this South African guy, he had a program called the Business Coach. I'm like, hey, let me check this dude out. So he had all these channels like across the world, and then some South African guys there, some middle-aged white dude with a suit on. He's going to like Johannesburg, some random cake guys making cakes, some random woman who's making some other restaurant type business or a hair salon, and he's like, hey, do this and this and this, and you can do it. And he's giving them a few strategies. Hey, why don't you try leaflet distribution or poster? Why don't you do like an open day thing or an open event? You leave them and they start to see growth. I'm like, damn, that's a cool job. Like, he just rolls in, everyone respects him. Yeah. He does his magic, they love him, and he's on to the next one.
Leaves, yeah.
And I was like, it'd be amazing to do that one day. Like, I'd love to be that guy. And that's 2007. So dental nursing, all that started around 2009, 10. Where I am right now, I'm literally that fucking business coach.
You are him.
I am him.
Respect.
And I'm that business coach, but in the dental industry. So I go into practices, give them the advice. The good thing is I also have a team now. So like, hey, I'm not just going to give you the advice and let you do all this.
Yeah.
My team here is going to help you with this.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to these other revenue points, and let's look at your business model and change it. So we start to help you scale with some real core foundation and frameworks. So I'm like an advanced version of him as well. So
that's cool, man.
Yeah. So it's like a weird little stories and little changes that happen. But
yeah.
This is how I kind of ended up where I am, really.
Wow, man. You've had like a journey, like, and there's so much within that as well. Because I've spoke to you, like, you know, we've had like chats and stuff, and like your story is so like it's filled with like ups and downs and like roundabout. You just like, but you always seem to like bounce back and like just do it bigger and better. So
I think one is full faith. I guess full faith in God. So if you got God's plan, and as you get older, you'll know when things have gone in the wrong way, they were going in the wrong way for a reason, and it was for your benefit. And it's hard to digest that sometimes if you are not taking full accountability of your own actions. But you have to be aware there is a higher power, or I'm obviously religious, but there's a higher power who has a better plan for you than what you might have. Just trust that process and go with that flow, and know that anything that happens bad to you or good for you is meant to be for you. So I think when you give that full kind of like full control away to a higher power, to God, or whatever kind of spiritualistic thing that you guys believe in, that's when you are not shocked or shaken when bad things happen.
Yeah.
You know that, hey, it's going to be a bit of turbulence. It's temporary, but it's for me. It's the benefit for me. I'm going to be a different person probably by the end of this, which is probably getting me ready for something bigger. God might not be able to give me a bigger challenge or an obstacle that I'll overcome and find greater success. And this is like a little practice round with me right now. So it's just a practice test. Handle this well, Hassan, then they'll give you a bigger one. And that might lead to bigger success. So I kind of see it as like, obviously, when you're looking micro into these things, it's hard to kind of look at that and feel that when you're there and there in the fire. But if you can just use some, I guess if you're into NLP, use some trigger things to kind of help you look at things from a wider perspective and just kind of stabilize yourself thinking, hey, we're going to go through it, but it's going to be for the better thing, better plan, better roadmap, and lay it right out. So you can be more resilient for the next bigger challenge. Because if you want to be whoever you want to be in a bigger successful businesses, there's going to be more law cases, like lawsuits, legal cases, team members leaving off and going, challenges, competition, doing dodgy things. If you can handle like the first obstacle in like a small business, then how the hell are you going to plan to like handle those in a multi-million pound business revenue? So I think for me, it's like, hey, this is like a test, level 1. Past level 1, get to level 2.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying those levels right now, going through those levels, losing a couple of lives, hopefully not. But it's just, it is every time you go to a new level, you get a bit more stability and you get added more lives, or I guess more resilience kind of skills, really.
Business is a video game. It's just a game, and you just got to learn how to play the game.
It is a game. And there's different games. And this is how I look at things as well. So everything is, I think if you're into gaming, I was born into the era of like PlayStation 1s, Sega Mega Drives and Sega. So I've been like raised on games pretty much. And I enjoy the gamification of things. It helps you it's like a hobby. So if people that want to play video games for the rest of their lives, like that's like a nice life to have, just playing video games and you're fine. Things are sorted. Everyone loves you. Financial income's coming in. That's like the ultimate dream. Just play and enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Business for me is a game. So I'm literally playing the game every day.
Yeah.
But I'm in the game. So it's like hardcore, like 4D going on.
This is sick. Okay.
So even now, I think I was telling one of my friends the other day, like, what's your plan and purpose? And he was like, well, I want to retire at 40. I'm like, okay, what's your plan after that? Like, I'll see you probably get into farming or something. I'm not sure. Like, okay. And then he wanted to get into like pensions. I think like, okay, that's interesting. But some things don't align. And then I shared mine. I'm like, hey, I don't think I'm going to retire. He's a bit confused on my goals. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to retire to like 60 or even 50. I could retire sooner, but I think I enjoy the game too much. So I think I'll be just playing this game for life. And if I make some money, then I'll be playing the game for free. I think I'll just enter the arena for free. Like, hey, let's roll some dice. I got stability here, but let's just help other people in this little Jumanji. Let's see if we can get some winners out of this. So I think, gamification, there's a game in everything. There's a strategy. The core thing is strategy.
Okay.
It's a strategy. So strategy applies in business, in relationships, moving in your careers. There's strategy in everything. Again, that is kind of gamification.
Mm-hmm.
So look at it as a fun thing rather than strategy seems some dark arts, like planning moves and planning ahead, and that's too serious. It's actually a game. Once you look at it that way, then it's a fun game. Let's see what we can change the dials here and there, and let's see what result we get.
Okay. Well, there's so much to unpack there.
Yeah.
Oh my days. No, that was really good. You went into faith and how that's helped you in your life, the gamification of business and the strategy of kind of like living a fulfilled life in a sense. And you kind of touched a bit on like how business is now for you. I think I'll start with that. Like how is business overall right now?
Business is growing and we are in an economic downturn. It was something I heard yesterday, which was, and again, it was Tony Robbins having an interview with a guy called Patrick Bet-David. There's a Valuetainment channel, kind of short snippet. And Tony Robbins was giving an insight into patterns of how everyone's familiar with this. If you're into the whole idea of like crashes, buying when things are low, the Warren Buffett kind of methodology, then you're familiar with patterns and frameworks that reappear again and again. So we're in this downturn and business is going good. So I think if we are strong enough and stable enough to try and scale a bit harder in this downturn, then when the upturn happens or the spring season happens, we'll be like, our trajectory will be strong. So our business is going good. And I think it's probably more to do with optimism and hard work. I don't think there is a downturn. I can see some of our conversion rates are a bit slower when it comes to sales. But at the same time, we are still getting clients and the business is still growing. So if you look at it from a micro point of view, conversion drops a bit low. Every day seems scary. But from a macro point of view, the business is better than what it was last year or even last 3 months. Like, that's an opportunity there. Like, so we're going for it. Business is good. We've now got a team of 8 people, and then we're hopefully having 2 more start in February, which is 2025. So I think we'll be a 10 team people. And then again, it's just making sure we get the foundation, the framework strong before we start going hard on the sales and the scaling up. And I know we're in the winter season, so it's a bit scary for people right now. But I'm getting ready for spring and summer. And that's when I'll reap the rewards of all the hard work and the processes and things we put in, including our brand, our reputation, people being aware of us. So we'll take advantage of that. And then hopefully that'll be a whole different story.
That's amazing. I've actually just learned something there from you. That's so when there's an economic downturn is the best time to prepare for scaling, because when the boom does happen, you want to be prepared for it and ahead. Do you think majority of people who starting off in business only prepare when things are good and when it's like the spring season and everything's like kind of flowing and stuff? Yeah.
People actually don't understand seasons, first of all.
Okay, right.
That's the first thing.
Right.
Like, again, I'm just using Tony Robbins' quotes here because it's still fresh. And he mentioned that's the first framework humans ever had. And that's knowing spring, summer, autumn, winter.
Right.
Knowing when to do things if you're doing farming to sustain your livelihood. Like, you can't start planting seeds in winter. There's no point. But you got to prepare for winter. Again, most people have no idea there even is a season to life, to businesses. Or let me change the word season to frameworks. Frameworks and repetitive kind of history kind of frameworks that reappear again and again, and just kind of utilizing that as a framework for your life, for your business in different areas. So we have a framework for our personal education. So knowing, hey, businesses go quiet in winter, which is generally the case because of Christmas and holidays. that's the time for all my team to then say, hey, I'm going to give you guys some time to learn.
Mhm.
Learn so we can start utilize that knowledge in spring. We'll put some seeds in, and let's see if that spring season of learning and applying gives us the kind of the fruit at the end of the labor, which is in summer. And then we take that revenue, learn from that in autumn, reapply the learning. That's just the learning framework or the seasons. And then the same business side of things. Most business owners are either comfortable if they made it successfully, so the seasons are always summer for them.
Yeah.
They just enjoy life. And I love that when they're doing that, because I've got, I think, maybe more hunger or more drive and purpose. And I think I'll take the advantage of these seasons to hopefully get past a few years of your kind of constant summer. And there's other people that are so micro with the season. So if it's winter, they get scared. If it's summer, let's spread more. And not really preparing things and looking in that way. It just also, it kind of confuses people around you who don't understand seasons. So if I'm saying like, hey, don't worry, let's learn in winter. Hey, by the way, the sales are down. We're not getting much sales calls into things. Don't worry about it. We're going to focus on learning this season.
Okay.
Hey, like, how are we going to handle January, February? Like, what's going on?
The boat's sinking, bro.
Don't worry about it. It's just a season. You don't understand this right now because I've been through this many years and observing it. So trust me, I know sales come closer to the end of December. We're going to get a good start in January and February. And then we'll be coasting through all the way through end of August. But because you don't know this yet, and I'm telling you to learn, which is a bit different from an employer. Yeah. Don't worry, just learn. Upskill yourself.
I want to go into that as well, but I want to ask you first and foremost, like, what would you say your main purpose is? What's your purpose?
So, main purpose is a hard one, really. I guess there's faith, and then there's family. From a faith perspective is obviously making sure I just become a better person from an Islamic point of view, and give back and actually make a difference before I go. I'm not ungrateful. I think so. Muslims have to pray 5 times a day, and it's actually gratitude and giving away the gratitude to the guy or to the person, or Allah, who's created you and given you all this. And it's a reminder to remind you are not the creator, right? And give gratitude and give thanks, really, in a simplified version of what I'm saying here. So part of that purpose is, if I'm being grateful, then I have to also appreciate the blessings that we have. Like, we can talk about other countries and how people are living there. They don't have some of the freedoms that we have. Like internet, it could be forget internet. Some of them don't have water, clean water and stuff. So then if we have all this abundant water supply and abundant knowledge around us, we can walk into a library like Manchester Library. We can walk in right now, learn anything that we want. YouTube, you can learn anything that you want, and you still are ungrateful for it, or you don't appreciate it and you don't take advantage of them, then what's the point of you having the blessing? So I think appreciating that there's blessings that we have, and it's not for the purpose of nothing. Like, you can't just ignore it. Like, hey, I just got all this water supply, health and wealth and knowledge. Like, thanks. I'm just going to ignore it and just go on Forza Horizon 5. Like, are you fucking stupid? Like, bro, you've just been given an opportunity that most of the world doesn't have. Use it for the good. I think that's what I'm going to do. If I'm able to, one of my skill sets is I'm able to strategize really well. I can use that either for my own financial gain, which I am doing as well. But then it's again like a life of like just selfishness. Like, why are you using your skills and the blessing you got just to make your own family safe and healthy and wealthy? And what the fuck is the purpose of that? Like, that's a shitty life. When I guess most people who are successful business owners will relate to this, or hopefully you do relate to this. Materialistic objects, the excitement dies down after hours. And I learned this by buying an expensive watch. I bought it, excited, looked at the box, put it on. And then obviously you see your son, you see your missus, you got to eat, you got to do shit, you got to go work. The fucking watch is not even on your mind anymore. Like, okay, I just fucking worked hard for that. The excitement's gone. Then the excitement to come back again is either buying a new one or buying something different. So I realized like that from an early age when I bought the first watch, expensive watch, I ain't buying an expensive watch again.
Really?
So even now, like, I can buy Rolexes as investment pieces, but I have a Google smartwatch because Rolex don't count steps. And I need the steps, right? So I think the purpose is leave, hopefully, a memory for the people that are behind me that he did this with his blessings, and then is to raise people, or my children, that are better versions than I have. So hopefully when they go out there, they understand my principles, and hopefully more better principles than I can share with them, and they do even more good. So if I'm version number, 27 right now of Hassan Mishay's life, and then hopefully they have to be better than me. I always tell them like, hey, when you grow up, you need to be better than I am. Like, you cannot be the same as me or worse than me. I worked too hard for this. You should know your potential. You are better than me. I'm going to give you more knowledge than I ever had at your age. You should be better versions of me. If I can make this much of an impact, you should be making more. And it's expectation of you, because we are and again, it's instilling in their minds, like, our blessings are strong. There's a reason why we've been given these blessings compared to hundreds of millions of people out there. So don't waste it. Like, don't waste it. So that purpose is what align with God. And the purpose is, again, community. Like, that's a big thing. I mentor high school kids because I know, and again, in deprived areas, to be specific, because I know the mindset that they have, because I was there, and most people don't value them or give them any support, knowledge, or insights. And if you don't get that at that early age, then I know where that kind of roadmap ends up, really.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and infiltrate earlier on and be like, hey, by the way, just because fucking some drug dealers got an M4 doesn't mean like that's the only option. I could get M4.
Yeah.
Literally, I could buy around, but I know I'm being savvy and a bit frugal purely for the business seasons.
Yeah.
But on a note, by the way, from a halal perspective, if you are given the wealth to be able to afford nice cars, you should do and buy a nice car to hopefully give another context, another contrast to the darker side. So if only drug dealers have M4s and all the legit guys have fucking Skodas and shit, you have to step up and actually show them, hey, by the way, I have an M4 and I didn't fucking sell drugs. So if I can do it the halal way or the legit way, here's an example of that as well. So you want to still utilize your success to buy nice things, because again, it's a blessing from God. But for the sake of also giving a bit of a competition to the dark side, like, hey, the good guys also win, if that makes sense.
Yeah, completely.
So instead of being like frugal, hey, those fucking guys are wasting their money, they're materialistic, there's a balance to it. Some things you can buy and some things you shouldn't buy, but again, you still have to represent the good team as well. Like, hey, legitimately, we can do as well. Like, look up to this. So that's another big purpose. I think that's, if I can change a couple of mindsets before I go, and if they got that information before I did, then hopefully that should create so many better versions of people that I never was.
Yeah.
And then, well, yeah, it'd be good to see what impact that has really on people's lives and legacies.
Bro, I did not know you mentor high school kids. That's yeah. What kind of like what made you decide? Yeah, I'm going to go into schools, man. I'm gonna.
It is that really. It is that knowing the high school kind of lives that we had and the upbringing and the environment. We didn't have again, no one told us about your university, like what the framework is or how do we even go down this pathway. What do even opportunities are like jobs wise? No one told us. I don't know whether high school was shit or something, but no one told us. And we didn't have any. I didn't have any big brothers. And my mates who had big brothers, they didn't go down the education route either, so they didn't know either. Yeah. And the cycle just repeats.
The endless cycle.
And then there's countless drug dealers that will try to recruit you and kind of groom you into thinking, hey, this is the best way to do things. And they'll make you hate the system, by the way. So I'll say this publicly, being a public enemy number one, and that is, I am a brown guy. I am a Muslim, which is the trending hate thing shit right now with your friend Musk. So you end up hating the system. And again, this was what creates extremism as well, because if you got so much hate coming at you, then the only thing sometimes you can give back is hate. And they'll utilize that. Some negative guys will utilize that hate and channel it towards other areas. And I'm trying to break that gap, really break that cycle. No one hates you. There are some people that hate you, but there's like a minority. It's a minority. If you're surrounded by that hate and always constantly told that hate, especially by the algorithms, then that's what you're going to feel and think all the time. But it's a minority of people. Once you get out there in the world and start going to rooms that you never were in, meeting people that you never met before, you realize, oh shit, most people are actually nice. There's only a shitty minority group of people that are hateful. So, but they won't get to see that. They will never get to see that. I mean, they will, but yeah, hopefully I can interject earlier on than later. And that might change the pathway on the roadmap.
Wow, bro, that's powerful, man. You've definitely helped change my mindset. Like, even knowing you in the past, like less than a year, man, just like kind of seeing you and how you operate within your team and like just the different battles you face and having to overcome adversity. And you're coming with a smile on your face. Like 99% of the time, like you're coming with a smile on your face. I feel like, God, it's all going downhill. But you're still like, you're saying it with a massive smile. I'm like, wow, man. Yeah. Talk to us about COVID and just the events surrounding that with business and life, etc. I know you've had a conversation with me as well.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let everyone else go.
Yeah. So my business started in 2000, and I say officially started in 2017. and business was going okay where I could have a lifestyle business.
Mhm.
I couldn't hire employees because the pricing was wrong and just wasn't thinking big enough. And so worked really hard through those periods. And again, this is when I refer to like God's plan type thing. So 2019, I just made a friend of mine known that I don't like business. I'm like, hey, this is like fucking graft. I'm doing 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
I enjoy the performance side of it, so I get to see how far I can push myself. So that's good to know. But at the same time, it's fucking stupid because logically, I'm not making revenue from this as much as I put into the graft.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I might put just call it quits. He then mentioned this to a company called Invisalign, the big orthodontic brand. They found out and they said, hey, I was making content, so I was kind of a little bit, maybe most people were aware of who I was and the network that I had. So I then took a job with them as a territory manager, which is like a nice salary. I remember calling my mom saying, hey mom, they made me this offer for this job salary. I'll just do the interview for fun. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
And then I went, did the interview. I fucking aced it. Got the job through help of a couple of friends internally as well.
Yeah.
And then put the business to rest, right? In
My
October
days.
2019, started the job in Invisalign.
Yeah.
COVID came, killed the business. So at that time, I had two fucking income streams, employment and the business. I was like balling in it.
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, I'll just keep the business going and maybe I can get my business involved in Invisalign and I'll fucking skyrocket because I'll be in this exclusive circle.
Mhm.
But then the COVID just killed the business. And then I was thinking, damn, it's a good thing I took that job because I'll be fucked right now.
Wow.
I'll be fucked right now.
Wow,
Yeah.
bro. What would you have done? Like, what would
I
your
have no
game plan
idea.
have been? Yeah.
My game plan would have been to, first of all, go to Asda and apply there. And then second, maybe delivery was starting off. I could have just started to do delivery
Fair
driver.
enough, yeah.
So, but I was in a
mad.
really good position.
Yeah.
Still in the dental game,
Yeah.
but with a big corporate behind me.
Yeah. Guaranteed salary, a living
Yeah.
good, second.
And I was earning
business
commission
coming in.
as well, so I was making good money. So personally, I was making more money than I made in business
Yeah.
because I was hitting my targets with the sales targets and things. I was thinking like, this is like perfect planning. Like, if I just carried on my business, I would have been fucked right now.
Yeah, my
Um,
days.
And then I stayed in employment for like 4 years. 4 years, I was making six figures as an employee with the commission and everything. I was thinking, I got it easy, man, to the point where I was doing really well within years. And then there was a post-COVID boom that helped. And
Mhm.
I was like enjoying hit my targets and all the stuff early on in the year. And the rest of the time, I'm trying to get in with the business side of things. So doing the cycling, charity events, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I was doing good financially. But then I kept having a conversation with my manager, Jed. I'm out of the company, so I can say whatever I want now. And telling him like, hey, we always have to create these learning development plans.
Mhm.
I was like, I need more money. I'll do whatever the learning needs to be done, but I need more money.
Yeah.
And even when I was saying those six figures, I was like, yeah, I can't afford a Ferrari still. I was saying it in an arrogant way
Yeah.
because I think that money did make me slightly arrogant.
Mm.
But it's truth is Ferrari's a couple of 100,000. I'm thinking, I'm on six figures money, like at least a couple of
Wow, bro. What was your target? Like, what was your like?
No, so
What did you want?
in my mind, I became like an arrogant athlete, a financial arrogant athlete where I thought, I'm performing, I'm being a bit more strategic than most. Here's the numbers. I had a lot more marketing knowledge than a lot of my colleagues, so I utilized that and got a lot of sales.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was killing it. I was thinking, hey, either the marketing department should bring me in there because I'm like so knowledgeable in marketing than the rest of my team, or should be given at least a Rolex because I'm making like
Give me something, bro.
Yeah. I think I even said it to the manager on the first time I got commissioned. Like, hey, so done really well this year. Like, do they send us a Rolex or something? He's like, nah, they just give me the money.
Days.
I was like, okay, but I worked so hard. I made you guys like at least minimum $250,000 to 1.5 mil. Like, maybe you can pay with a piece of that Rolex.
Something, yeah. My
They didn't give
days.
you a Rolex. I was like, oh shit, I'm like a really good sales athlete here. However, the cycle repeats every year. I'll be acing my job, and I was thinking, kept on the same conversation with manager, like, yeah, I need more money. He goes, Hassan, you are making decent money, and you made more money this year than you did last year, but you keep saying you need more money. I don't think it is the money. I think there's something else going on here.
Oh, okay.
Because I did end up buying a couple of nice cars, and I think
Yeah.
he's like, but you're still unhappy. Like, I don't think it is the money, Hassan. You keep saying you want a Ferrari and money, but I don't think it is the money. And I don't know. And again, I don't know whether he said this deliberately to make
Yeah.
me leave and
Okay.
think, or he was just coaching me back. And I was like, fuck, maybe he's right. It's not about the money. I'm not learning here. I'm not actually developing here. I'm still the same guy. I've not learned anything new in this job at all that improves my life or people around me. So I'm like, fuck, maybe I should leave this job and go back to this business. We'll make it work somehow, take a hit, and yeah, just go back in the learning pathway, and hopefully money comes with it. So I left that 6-figure, nice income, nice lifestyle, working 9 to 5, going gym and everything, nice balance to things, to go back into business, more craziness, more hours, more stress, more income. Yeah.
Respect. So it worked out. Like the risk paid off.
It worked. And the funny thing is, my network increased whilst I was in employment. My reputation increased locally with the same people. I got to see so many different things. So the best clients that I could see and how they did their business model. So I learned a lot from observing things. And then when I come out in business, I utilize all that, and my business is doing better than it ever has done ever.
Wow.
So again, it's like, God's plan, like,
Amen,
save me
bro.
from COVID,
Yeah.
got me into a job, use that knowledge in the job to then grow the business.
Yeah.
Maybe you had to go through that to get this business to where it is right now.
Interesting.
And then at the same, so it's like, I'm telling you, man, that have faith. That it's all planned out for you. If you have faith, obviously it doesn't mean like don't do anything. So a graft and kind of go through turning all the stones and see the opportunities. But the faith has to be strong. That like, don't believe in your own hype. You are not the creator. Someone's helping you. Appreciate that, but you obviously are grafting. But yeah, don't get sucked into your own ego thinking you are the one that creates and creates all this revenue, and you're the one creating your own blessings. Like, you're putting in the work, but someone's rewarding you at the end of it. Someone's already planned it out for you.
Even with all like the success you've had, still maintaining that is pretty impressive, bro. Because I know that like money and ego and like power and all that stuff will start having a play on your mind, and like you start thinking, I'm him, I am the guy, and then you kind of lose it from there. You
can. I think it needs to go down that materialistic pathway. I think that's one of them. Social media creates this thing about comparison. I post my mistakes on social media. In COVID, I actually made about 4 or 5 posts highlighting my business failures.
Wow.
So in COVID, we just started clearing up things because you had a bit of a lockdown. And I have a box at home that's my business failure box.
No way.
Yeah, no joke. And if you ever go on my LinkedIn or Instagram, you'll see all my business failures. So I have like little business cards, leaflets, and posters. And I thought, I'll just break down like why I started this business, how I failed. Okay. I had like 4 businesses that failed, and I tried it with friends as well, so I tagged them in as well. Like, hey, you were there.
Remember this business that failed?
This business that failed. And people enjoyed it doing COVID. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna try it. I try.
Yeah.
And then this one worked. One of the things is shiny object syndrome.
Okay.
So my business, this business that I have now, it always has worked. Even when COVID happened, although the business went poof, there's one client that remained throughout the whole period.
Wow.
And I was thinking like, maybe I should start an insurance business. Maybe I should do these PBI things all these other guys are doing. Should I get into cars because I enjoy cars? Well, thinking, but then you kind of ignore the fact that there's a fucking business that's still bringing you revenue and you're not even trying anything.
Wow.
Like, it's already validated. The business makes money, it's validated. Someone pays you money, validated. Yeah. I'm like, shit, maybe I'm looking around. These are the acres of diamonds. There's a story about acres of diamonds, which I won't go into now, but definitely Google it. And I thought, the acres of diamonds are right in my doorstep. Maybe I should focus on this because it's always been there. It's always been in even a pound or so. So the validation is there. So just double down on that. I thought, let me just double down on this. Ignore any shiny objects for about 10 years. It's a hard thing to do.
Long time.
When your brand awareness starts to grow bigger, people do come up to you with more business ideas. And hey, I see you in the industry and this niche. I've got the software. Maybe you can white label it, collaborate. So all these opportunities come. But you have to so I put in my mind 10 years. 10 years, nothing else. 10 years, I'm just going to do this. If I sell, it sells. If I keep it as a family business, it's a family business. But I have to put in 10 years to see the potential of it, where it could go without being distracted.
Dedication, man. You're saying loads of like little nuggets as well, like acres of diamonds. Is that obviously you don't want to go into too much, and I think I'd rather like
it's a kind of a story fable. I don't know whether it's true or not, and I heard it through I can't remember the speaker's name. He's quite famous, old author, but he shared that story, and it's like, and it's always a nice reminder to not be distracted by the shiny object syndrome. Okay. The idea is that sometimes you go searching for these acres of diamonds. Yeah. And the story is that this farmer had the acres of diamonds in his farm, but he sold the farm to go find them. Oh. But the guy that bought the farm found the diamonds. Yeah. Like the diamonds are always there. You just getting distracted. They were always there. Yeah. Whether that's your network. I think maybe I had a conversation with yourself around this. Look at your network. Like, hey, what's your easy wins? Is there a reason why you keep having this type of clientele or people around you? What's your skill sets? Do you have to learn a new skill set? Like, I looked at video editing and thought, fuck that. That's too tedious. I'm not learning this. Maybe I'll go back to my business strategy stuff because I'm good at that.
Yeah.
And those are my little diamonds. Instead of trying to get distracted by, hey, maybe I could save some money by doing editing. Like, forget that. I'll just do my thing.
Yeah, of course. How do you balance life? Like, obviously you've got wife, kids, family, like hobbies, etc., going to the gym. How do you balance that and running a full-time 10 staff potential business?
So the truth is, I'm not good at balancing. There's compromising. There's a lot of compromising, and having a support team around you that's really good. My support team is my wife and family. They forgive me for my lack of time to them. And I've already told them this, and it's kind of a mutual understand, like, hey, this is the journey that I'm on right now temporarily. By the end of it, give me these 10 years or less, hopefully. And I'm in my mind, I got like 2 or 3 years actually, where I can then give you that time back, but it's an investment that we do right now. So it is delayed gratification.
Yeah.
My eldest son, who's now he's 11. He just turned 11 in December.
Okay. We got there in the end. Oh, jokes.
He's 11. But there was a period where I have no memory of him from the age of like 3 to 4.
Wow.
No memories. The only memory I have of him is like in his pajamas, and that's because I used to come home at night and see him in his bed.
Wow.
So there's like there has to be a balance. I'm still not the best, but I know that time I gave away a lot to business, and there literally maybe 1 to 2 years of no memories of my son because I wasn't there.
Wow.
Yeah, hard.
That's when you were in it, you probably didn't realize, but what's that like now looking back? And
yeah, I think we look at the pictures and you think, shit, I should have paid attention a bit more or nurtured him a little bit here and there. But I think, again, if you're appreciative of time and you got time to still win back things, so again, just making sure, guide him a little bit, nurture him where I can, because I think at that age now is a different age now. So the nurturing has to be in a different style. But I did miss that little early development part with him, which is, it's going to be a bit of a kind of a, always a bit of a reminder, like, shit, you fucked up a little bit there. But it is what it is.
Wow. I guess you're always learning, like in every aspect of your life, like parenthood. I guess I'm not a parent myself, but I'm guessing like you're human, you're human, and like when your kids grow up, and even myself, when I've grown up, I've looked back at my parents. I'm like, you know what, man, they were just learning. And they were just figuring out as they go along. Like I was the firstborn, so I was kind of that tester child. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those where you look back and be like, man, well, I rate you for trying. I think the type of person you are as well, your kids will look back and think, you know what, man, he tried and he grafted for us.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, man. The one thing I wanted to ask you about, like business, taking it back there. We'll brighten it up again. There's the one last thing about business I want to get into is you've mentioned to me once the 5 levels of agency owners, or was it entrepreneurs?
Could be both, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, 5 levels of business owner, we'll say.
So the truth is, I actually don't remember them exactly, but let me try my best.
That's jokes.
But I think there are levels to the agency world or the business world, really. I think everyone tends to start off either seeing the potential in themselves, think, hey, I deserve more, and that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going the hustle, undercharging initially because you don't know what to charge.
Yep.
And if you do ever research your competitors, you'll find like their pricing is also cheap. You're thinking like, okay, I'll just copy your pricing. And then you kind of realize, hey, as I'm going and growing through these business, and if you start to get more and more customers, you realize, hey, I'm spinning a lot of plates here. I need to hire someone.
Mm.
And if you're undercharging, then you realize, hey, I can't hire as fast as I need to because I need to bring in 10 more clients, maybe more sometimes, to pay for this one salary. If I'm spinning like 20 clients and plates, by the time I hire someone, and you might be hiring based on a skill set rather than operational stuff, then it's inevitable that I might have to drop a few plates because they'll fall because I'm not paying attention to them and not giving that client the attention. And if that happens, then you're thinking, okay, yeah, I've just hired someone, but I lost 4 of the clients at the back end. Now I'm in a place again with scarcity, so I need to make sure I've got enough to feed this person. So one of the biggest things is I would say always advise people is increase your pricing. Like that's one of the biggest things that we did. Realized, wow, the freedom to breathe, the freedom to hire the best people, which gives us better quality work, which equates to a better reputation in the industry. You want to get to that fast.
Okay.
Right? But I understand also that there's a process you're going to have to go through to build confidence, case studies, testimonials. But have a date frame on that, by the way.
Okay.
Don't just kind of keep going through it and another year gone by and you're still in that small kind of price range. Have a date frame on that. And then increase your pricing. You have to increase your pricing if you want to hire people. It also depends on your goals, I guess, as well. So some people want to have a lifestyle business. For me, it wasn't enough. Like, if I still want to hire people, you don't have to hire people in-house. I think that's the other thing as well. Like, my team is a mixture of full-time in-house people and full-time remote people.
Yeah.
And I've done this by separating creativity with logical. So anyone that's logical, they'll be remote employees.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're trying to find ways to entertain them, keep them as part of the team. Creative people, I need those to be collectively together because I feel creativity works better when there's other people around you.
Mm-hmm.
And different ideas, different kind of perception of things might change the creativity of the idea at the end of it. And I like to be surrounded by creative people, and it helps with strategy as well.
Mm.
So that's the way I've divided my team. But yeah, so as you go through these progresses and things, the next hurdle is, again, early days, you'll be focusing on sales. Like, that's your priority.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get 1 or 2 team members, you want to start focusing on building your processes and foundations of your business. These are the things that will give you consistency in customer service, because you don't want to lose customers as you're scaling.
Mm.
The longer you retain them, the better. Some businesses kind of think of it, it's inevitable. Like, we're going to have a churn rate of whatever percent. It doesn't have to be that. I think it doesn't have to be that. You can still try to reduce that by just having an exceptional service experience. Those processes make it predictable, consistent, and people don't leave from a client perspective. And it makes it easy for your team to work as well, because they're not having to live in chaos all the time. Once those systems and foundations are strong, then it's going back on sales and go heavy and hard on sales, because you've got the foundations to handle new clients. Because if you didn't have those systems and, let's say, CRMs or project management software like ClickUp, Asana, Zoho, HubSpot, whatever you got guys got going on, and if someone gave you like 20 clients in the month, you will collapse. You'll forget about number 1. You'll forget about your existing number 17.
Okay.
And then they're like, hey, why are you not getting in touch with me? One thing I've noticed is if your clients are quiet,
Yeah.
that's a bad sign.
Right. Okay.
If your client's quiet for like a month or 2, that means something's not right.
Right. Okay.
They should always be engaging with you and asking you, hey, are you guys doing this? Are you doing that? In my head, I see it as if they're gone quiet, that means they're shopping around.
Okay.
Shopping around, buying time before they make their decision.
Yeah.
So while deliberately we have all our team members step in once a week with each client, we try and schedule a lot of calls. And I learned this through other mentors as well, by the way. So it's not anything that I figured out myself.
Yeah.
It's another little hack. But yeah, as you kind of go through those stages, then it is hiring talent, deciding how you want your internal structure to be, who your competitors are, and what your long-term plan is. I guess that's probably the best thing to start with. There's a couple of mentors that have helped me to look at, hey, what's the final destination? Like, are you planning to exit? Like, are you planning to sell this? Do you want to pass this to your kids? Is it a lifestyle business? Whatever it is. You have to decide that and then build backwards, because then you'll have a bit of a strategy and framework to stick with. Again, you want a bit of that 10-year plan. I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to go through all the way to the end. Let's see what it brings. After that, I can decide what I want to do. So I think that's kind of the process I would say for agencies. Every agency is a little bit different. The key things that always bring clients, by the way, are sales teams, having salespeople. Don't ignore the fact that you need salespeople around you. And it's something that I'm still learning of how to develop salespeople, because they're a bit different to normal employees. They're like high performance people, so they need to be well fed. They're like again, everything I look at is like an army, strategic point of view. These are my frontline killers. I need to make sure they're the well fed, best respected people, so they go out and kill continuously. Then let's say the average soldier who's doing more admin work, they don't need that much to maintain themselves, because they all have different mindsets. On that note, quick side note as well, another side note.
Please, yes. More.
Sir Alex Ferguson, we're in Manchester. Fucking huge respect for Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah. That's the guy, man.
Created the best team in the world, the best team that reigned for the longest period in the world and won all 3. I think that was like a nice 1999, 1998, I think it was. But he's written a book called Leading, which again was recommended by another friend of mine who's another startup entrepreneur, which I respect, because we were from the same kind of background, same journey point. He's called Jawad. He knows who he is. In Glasgow, he recommended Leading to me. Bro, that changed my whole perspective on how I manage people.
Leading by Sir Alex Ferguson.
Leading by Sir Alex Ferguson.
Sick. Right.
Every team member, every general, every soldier needs a different way of communicating with them. They all have different drivers. Quick snippet. Ryan Giggs. If those guys, I remember Ryan Giggs.
Oh, yeah. We're not that young. Come on, man.
Alex Ferguson used to like swear at him.
Right.
Because he's from a hard area.
Yeah.
Swearing like, you fucking piece of shit. Get the fucking, like, do your fucking best. Why are you being shit for?
Yeah.
Eric Cantona, French dude.
Mm-hmm.
He was sensitive, although he's a hard character in the field.
Cantona was sensitive.
He was sensitive.
Okay.
If Alex Ferguson said to him, like, you fucking bitch, get the fuck on the field, he would rebel. He'll not doing that.
Fast.
He's like a dark horse. He would rebel against that.
Okay.
But if you held this is what he says in the book. I think he put his arm around his shoulder and said, hey, Eric, you're an amazing person. I know you're here for good. You're a nice guy. Show everyone what you're capable of. And that will drive him to his peak performance. So he had different ways of different players. And he tells us in his book, you think, shit, okay, I need to take an interest into each person's driving force behind them, their communication style, their background. So I get every single team member, I get to know their life.
Wow.
And I'm hopefully they're aware of it. Maybe they're not even aware of them doing this. And I do this to like change my behavior around them. So I'm gentle with some team members. They know who they are. And then I'm hard with some team members. They know who they are. And then there's sometimes a bit of conflict. Like, hey, why is he so mean to he? Or why is he so nice to him? But then it's something that you guys want to understand. It's a bit like fatherhood. The other child might understand why you love the little one more, or the middle one more, or the eldest one here, or how you treat them differently. They have to be treated differently.
Wow. Out of curiosity, that's actually, bro, you actually dropped so much wisdom in that like little segment there. You know, I was like, should I like start taking notes? But that's powerful, bro, because this is stuff like you don't like from experience, like you don't deal with the problems until the problems come. Like you can't prepare for some problems in business.
Not some problems,
you just can't do it, and you just have to fail at them, and then and you'll go back and reflect on it. But mentorship, you mentioned, is a massive thing. I've had a business coach before, massive game changer. Shout out Reese, big plug, helped me so much when I was just starting off, like going full time, and I kind of like a year later after that, kind of opened my eyes a little bit more to things. But just a quick side note, what would you recommend? Mentorship, and how do you find the ideal mentor for you?
Okay. So one thing is, don't get too many mentors. Okay. Because you are then responsible. So mentors don't like people that waste their time. Yeah. They give you suggestions, they want you to act on it. Yeah. And they want to see, by the way, they do it like for free. They don't charge you anything. They do it purely because they want to see you succeed. Mm-hmm. So what they want in return is for you to succeed. Mm-hmm. Just do the things I tell you, do them, and you'll be fine. If you don't do them, then you're wasting my time and your time. I'm doing this for free. Mm-hmm. They're already successful people, so they're really busy already, and they don't appreciate time wasters. So if you have too many mentors, you're kind of spreading yourself thin, and then you kind of responsible to this action step and this action step, and some of them might be conflicting. So you want to get different mentors at different stages in your business life, and then they may also be in different experiences and different business cycles. Some of my mentors when I started off early were people that were early in their businesses. Okay. Because I needed that is early business information right now. How do I get a couple of clients right now? Once you get to a higher level where you got like 10 employees, I need a mentor who's got 20 or 40 or 50 employees. How do you make your team happy and positive and reduce the churn rate of your employees? That's the mentor I need at that stage. So get a mentor at the right stage, the right time. Not one mentor can be fit for you all the way through the end. Because if they're already making billions, more than likely they're not going to remember the shit they just did from day one. Mm-hmm. Right now I'm busy with this and this and this. I'll tell you some of the recent 5 or 6 years that I did before. But like day one, I think I had a chat with this guy and he helped me with this. They won't remember it. So you want to get an entrepreneur that's a few steps ahead of you for sure. They'll give you insights on where you are right now, and you want to apply those right now. And don't spread yourself too thin by being accountable to so many mentors. So choose 1 or 2 max, or else they'll be disrespected. Oh yeah. So right now I have 2 mentors. There's 3, there's 4 potentially, different areas of life. One's a financial mentor. He's going to helping us with our financial structure a little bit more and for forecasting and foreseeing how we grow and plan things. We have a mentor who's helping us, or kind of an organization that's helping us with the future, 5-10 year plan, exit plans, and all that type of stuff. Oh my goodness. I have a mentor who has helped me in the last couple of years and has driven us so far. It's changed my life almost. Wow. And we just got another mentor who's for the future, from where we are going to the team of 20, 30 people. And he's going to potentially give us support in, hey, how do you become a strong force that's stable? It's not going to dismiss. One of the phases when you're from a poverty kind of mindset is sometimes things might disappear, things might crumble and disappear, and then it's back to square one again, right? And I am always in that bit of worry and anxiety, like, shit, maybe I'm just fluking this shit right now. Maybe it's just luck, and maybe next year might be totally different. Maybe you start from scratch. Again, the amount of businesses I failed in, if you look at that, you think, oh shit, there's a high chance that this might fail again based on your percentages. So I'm like always trying to prepare for the worst. And I'm trying to seek mentors like, hey, just give me that formula, the blueprint to make sure my army is strong for at least a decade so I can plan things. And that'll give me reassurance to take more risks, knowing that it's not going to crumble behind the foundation is strong. So I'm having mentors for those things. And then there's mentors that are, again, some mentors don't even know the mentors. I observe them. Literally, I observe them. And I think, for example, Jake, he doesn't even know this.
Wow.
So Jake is, like I mentioned before, he's a good father.
Yeah.
And I just watch him and think, oh, he's really good at that. And then ask him a question. He wouldn't even know why I'm asking. Like, hey, so why do you do this? Like, he'll tell me something. Okay, no worries. I'll go back to work. But he has no he has no idea the impact it has on me being a father, right? So there's people that you see, even like my boss who did the date night thing. I was like, okay, so what's a date night? I'll do this and this with my wife. Okay, so why do you do that? Like, okay, this. Perfect. I'll take the little nugget, apply it. And he doesn't even know he's a mentor. And there's some mentors or people that were mentors forced me into things like diary management, planning my days out. One mentor used to be my previous boss. He knows who he is probably if he ever listens to this even. He forced me to use a file of facts. It's an old school diary system.
Okay.
And I've never used a diary system before, never used any time management system ever. And he forced me into it. He made me buy a file of facts. He even funded it and bought me all the little booklets and the nice leather pouch thing. Yeah. And then there'd be instances in boardroom meetings and things where I wouldn't bring it with me in front of everyone. He'll pull me up on it, insult me in front of everyone. Like, hey, Hassan, where's your file of facts? Like, I left it on my desk. Right, go get it first. And then I'll, in front of like a room full of 20 educated people, where there's a room full of dentists that I'm managing. My days. See me getting bollocked. There's me, him, and a room full of like 15, 20 dentists and other managers and things. And then in front of them all, the guys I manage, I'm like being schooled. Boy, it's a hard lesson, but it fucking benefited me so much in life.
If I was your employee, how would you deal with myself? Just out of curiosity, I would like to know a bit more.
Yeah. So then one thing is, knowing you're a creative person,
okay,
you'll be in the first of all around my circle.
Yeah, first.
Now, creativity has to be always challenged, and sometimes applying frameworks or restrictions increases creativity more than having kind of unlimited amount of resources.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that I would do is give you some frameworks. Hey, by the way, you only got this budget, this and this.
Okay.
Figure it out.
Sweet.
And although it'll feel painful in the beginning, like, why the fuck is he only giving me this and he's got all this shit here? Like, why is he not just giving me an apprentice with me to help me with this? But the forcing of yourself to find the solution you'll enjoy. You're like, Hassan, look, based on what you said and what we got, this is what I came up with.
Interesting.
And you'll be enjoying it, and you probably appreciate presenting it and be like looking for that kind of like, I hope he likes it. Yeah. I spent a lot of effort and energy into this. And even I'll be thinking like, shit, that's like out of the box, because knowing with these restrictions, he made this happen. And I think then the fun part happens. Okay, bro, I trust you. Do it.
Sick.
Go do it. Go do your thing.
Smash out.
And there is no rule. So I think one of the things I tell everyone is like that. Although we can make mistakes, a part of it is like testing and learning. Like I'll be like, hey, just testing. Do you think this is good? You'd probably be like, I'm not sure. Okay, we'll find out. Then go and do it. Let's find out.
Yeah.
There's no like, oh, is it right or wrong? No one knows. Even I don't even know, because I've never done it. So I'll be like, yeah, do it, bro. Let's find out.
Yeah, let's see.
I think that's the good thing about being a small company. You can pivot really fast. And the more you test, the more you find out the right things. So I think that's one thing my team members all know, to test it. If you're not testing enough, then you're getting too comfortable. Like, you think you know everything already. Why are you not testing? Like, we just got some new equipment. Why not testing that? Like, this is what just come out recently. TikTok's getting banned potentially. Like, what's the ways around that? Thread just recently launched ads. How does that impact Meta ads and Facebook ads? Are we testing shit on that? Do we know the answer? No. Do you know the answer? No. Well, there's only one way to find out the answer then.
Do it.
Let's go test it. Anyone stopping it? No. Am I stopping it? No. Fucking do it then. Let's go.
Wow, okay.
It's only going to improve your knowledge and experience. So I think that's going to be always a key thing.
Interesting.
So I don't dismiss opinions for sure. My team will tell you I'm the fastest person to say, yep, I'm wrong. You're right.
Okay.
Let's do what you said.
Nice.
And I'll always do it. There's no ego in business. You definitely can't have ego with your team, because I'm expecting them to be smarter than me at certain things. So fucking school me.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm wrong, and then I'll do exactly what you say. As long as you tested and experimented it. Yeah. If you're just saying it, yes, right, for like, yeah, I think this is the way it works. What's your like What have you researched and found out?
Evidence, bro.
No evidence. So what makes you think this is right then? I don't know. Is it a gut feeling? No. Bro, you haven't done fucking research. Go fucking do your research. Use ChatGPT even. I already got the pro version. Fucking just do it. But then once you've done it, like if you still agree with it, fucking do it. If you disagree with it, I'll listen to whatever you say.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Interesting, because that's actually how my old boss Bilal was with me. He was very much so right, cool, here's the brief, this is what we need, come up with some ideas and then let me know by the end of the day. And I'd be like, yeah, sweet, here's like 10 ideas or whatever, what do you reckon? He'd be like, yeah, sweet, book it in and then we'll see how it goes. I'd be like, oh, all right, sick. And then and then he'd give me the freedom, and sometimes you get it wrong, sometimes you get it right, but I did really enjoy it's just so weird, I did enjoy the like, look what I made. Do you know what I'm saying? Look. And then like going out and doing it and having a finished product, be like, rah, having that freedom. And it was a small business, so having the freedom to experiment and to try it as a creative. And I hate working from home. Like being around, being in the business and actually being there and you know, what's the word? Collaborating in the moment is so much better. I think you're right. It's kind of like a person to person thing. Some people might just prefer being like, I'm in my own world. I've got a system of things to get through. I'm not going to go away and do whatever else because I know I want to get through this. I like the fact there's a system and by myself. But yeah. What would you say to a first year in business Hassan right now if he was sat in front of you and I was like, hey, yo, what's going on, older Hassan? What have you got for me?
First year in business, find a mentor who's already done what you've done. There's plenty of them out there. So your life is not brand new. They're probably similar to someone's life already. So you don't have to figure out the problems yourself. Save like 10 years just by having a conversation or a coffee with someone. Have a budget set aside for coffees and lunches. I think that's a big thing.
Fair. Yeah.
So you need to take people out to coffee. Some of the busiest guys don't appreciate coffee or the time to be taken out of their business. So make space and time to go to see people and learn their knowledge. Second thing is do validate your idea. Like before you start to like offer a service or whatever, just come up with a minimal viable product. I think that's any SaaS company or software company does this anyway, or hopefully they should before they die. But you should be able to do the same with a service business. Just offer your service to someone. If someone is willing to pay you, and until that money hits your bank account, it's fuck all. It doesn't mean anything. I think that's one thing around sales. When you become a salesperson, you realize it doesn't mean nothing until that money hits the bank. That's when you get excited. Until then, it's just bullshit promises. So same with the services. Until someone pays you that money, if someone does give you that money and it hits your bank account, business is validated. Someone paid you. Then it's looking at your market segment like, if I'm going to be in this for like 5 years, can I sustain this business for that period of time? Or is there too much competition? Or are these guys even kind of in the size or big enough to be able to afford my services? Because I need to hire people and that's my plan maybe. If I want to hire people, then they're going to pay me this much amount of money. And these guys are working from a shared office space and they don't even have a receptionist because they're going to answer the calls themselves, do sales themselves. Maybe they don't earn enough to even pay me this amount that I need for my employees. Maybe that's not wrong business as well. So a lot of it is testing. Test hard as you can the first year.
Okay.
Test, save portions of money to the side if you can. I know it's going to be difficult in the first year. Do some work for free. And I know everyone says this and it's kind of counterproductive because you're not utilizing that money for other things, but do some work for free, especially when it comes to brand association. So there's some influencers out there, big brands, that if you just get to do some work for them for free and brag about it on social media, the perception is that you are doing paid work for this dude. And they'll already automatically think you are successful. And if he's doing work with this dude and he's also working with this other influencer dude, why the fuck am I not working with him? He knows, these guys know something that he knows and I'm missing the opportunity here. So they'll be more receptive to having a conversation with you. So brand association, influence yourself and kind of surround yourself with a really strong network by having some money saved aside for coffees, lunches and dinners. You need to do that to be able to network with these guys in certain events. Put yourself out of your comfort zone. So when you're in these surroundings, there are people who are smarter than you, more successful and powerful than you. So be a bit brave, hold yourself strong when you're around those people because they'll be able to sense that you're not confident. And if anyone in that room is a bit of a conniving bitch, then they'll potentially take advantage of you as well, of your services. They know you're a novice. They know you'll be willing to do work for free. So they'll dump shit on you to take advantage of you. So hold yourself strong and test, experiment as fast as you can to figure out the framework that you can stick with to then scale on. Because you don't know what's going to work. You might try a few things. You do social media the same as the other influencers. But then when you try a few different things, they are, this one works a bit better than the shit that everyone else is talking about. Let me try and double down on this. And that might be your framework and your unique strategy. But the only way to find that out is by testing and learning.
Wow, I think that's a great place to end. Hassan, thank you so much. You have blessed this episode so much. Like, genuinely, I don't have any words to say how much you've just given there, bro. That is like years and years and years of experience just put into just context, bro.
Yeah, no, I guess it's an opportunity to say Alhamdulillah. So Alhamdulillah, so it's a nice way to reduce your ego, by the way. So
okay.
Although I could take all that and be like, that's all me. It's not all me. So I have to direct the praise to someone else. So I stay humble as well. But I appreciate that.
No, man. See, that he's humble as always. My God. No, thank you, Hassan. I appreciate that. And that's episode 1 of whatever this podcast is called. We'll have a name for it at some point. Yeah. But thank you, man. I appreciate
appreciate having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.